So pardon my sunglass marks, if you can see them if I come in real close. Maybe not. In classic Joe fashion, I'm apologizing for something that you probably wouldn't have even noticed if I didn't point it out. But I just need to beat that imaginary critic to the punch. But I wanted to talk today about meditation. If I'm going to talk about spirituality, pretty foundationally, I need to talk about meditation early on. Because it is just such a big part of spirituality. In some ways, you could interpret it as all of spirituality. I don't so much anymore, but I have in the past. When I've really doubled, tripled down on spiritual pursuit, I've really put all that emphasis on just committing lots and lots and lots of time to meditation. There are more things than that now. There's a full integrative living approach to spirituality. But meditation's still super important to me. And the thing about meditation is that you are almost certainly going to suck at it for quite some time after you start taking up a real disciplined practice. That's just the thing. You're not going to be good at it. Like you're not going to be good at any skill that you take up. And it's weird that there's kind of no in-between with how people see meditation, because in one way, meditation is extremely simple. There are all these different kinds of meditations, and they all have pretty simple guidelines. If you can name a meditation that has an instruction set that goes on for longer than 3 sentences, I don't think that's a very good form of meditation. One of the key aspects of meditation, no matter what the practice is that the guidelines that you follow have to be simple. But that also doesn't mean that it's easy. The distinguishing feature, or, what we distinguish in every form of spirituality that there is that easy does not mean simple, simple does not mean easy. It's incredibly difficult and incredibly complex precisely because of how simple it is. Yeah. And people go into it with these big expectations of, I'm going to totally clear my mind. I love hearing that, clearing the mind. Or I'm going to get rid of all thoughts and just sit there completely thoughtless. No, you will not. You might reach that someday. I don't know. You are not going to reach that on the first try, or even probably the 10,000th try. It's not about going into it trying to completely clear your thoughts. I mean, that's like saying, I'm taking up the art of basketball, and the goal is to go with all these NBA caliber players, play a game alongside them, and score 70 points. You're just not going to do that within any reasonable time frame. Certainly not the time frame that you're probably going into it expecting if you're super optimistic. The reason why I say all of that about, you're going to be bad at meditation for a long time is that it's been 7 years. And I have finally kind of gotten a foundation of being good at meditation. I've always gotten benefits from meditation. I've always had enjoyment throughout, though through various phases of it, I really did not enjoy it at all. I've always called meditation a worthwhile practice, and I've always really, really seen the results when I stopped meditating. It'd be crazy to me. It's crazy to me when I go some days without meditating, just how inundated with, I don't even need to go into the details, how difficult life gets now, because there was for the first 23 or so years of my life, didn't meditate pretty much at all. So I can't go back there anymore, because I just realize how necessary meditation is just for living. And with that said, even with how necessary it's been for me, I've not been very good at it, I don't think. Just comparatively, relatively, to how I am now. I think maybe I don't need to say that. I can say I've recently just had a big leap in the quality of my meditation and in my perspective on meditation. Yeah, and a part of that is because I have finally found a meditation method that really, really, really works for me. And I'm not going to say what it is here. And I'll get into the reason why shortly, but I have come up with sort of a hybrid meditation that I do that combines 2 or 3 different methods, sort of the best of all these methods, that have individually given me some benefits but have had some issues for me personally. But I've taken some wisdom and traits from all those methods and combined it into one that I really, really enjoy doing, I really look forward to, and has really clear, tangible payoff and results for me. Now, it took me 7 years to get to that kind of meditation. The one that really, really works for me. That's 7 years. I mean, it sounds crazy, but I mean, you think about anything that you've ever gotten really, really good at. It's like, how long had you been doing it for by the time when you started having a baseline of like, okay, no, even at my worst days, it's like I'm a C grade at this. Yeah, no, and it feels fantastic to have gotten to that. And I'm trying not to put too much attachment onto that either. If this method ceases to be a perfect method for me, or ceases to be an effective method for me, it'll be a little bit back to the drawing board, or I'll take the lessons that I've already learned and I'll construct it into something even better that fits me better. Yeah, and I've wondered, is it like meditative sacrilege to come up with this own method of my own? Well, no, because it's not my own method. I am just building upon stuff that's been already taught from previous great meditation masters. So no, I am not going against what they say. I am still embodying it in a lot of ways. And then also, I mean, we are all individuals, and we all have individual tastes and preferences and backgrounds and just general ways of being that are just conducive to different paths that lead us to success. And you need to find your own meditation method that's going to work for you. And that's the reason why I don't want to say what mine is, partly because, I don't know, I don't want any unsolicited opinions on it, because I don't really feel like I'm in the space to take that right now. If people do have any big opinions, he was even a big meditation critic, but it's also just because I think the majority of people that I say this to, it's not going to be the right meditation method for them. It works perfectly for me. How the heck does that mean that it's going to work perfectly for even one other person? There's a good chance it could, but yeah, no, I've found Joe's meditation method, and that's also part of, slightly immaturely. Another thing I like about it is that no, it's mine. That's not immature. I don't need to put myself down on that. No, it's mine. It's what all of these past 7 years have really been leading up to, and that just, it feels great. It feels great as any other aspect of my own individualism. And the truth is, meditation is an art. And like all art forms, there are baseline skills that you need to develop in order to really be participating in that art form, But then after a certain point of learning those baseline attributes of it, that's where individualism comes in. That's where personal creative expression of that comes in. In the same way I said in the previous video, there's no separation anymore between spirituality and all these other avenues. There's no separation from art and all these other avenues. And because pretty much my 2 biggest values are creativity and spirituality, this mending that I feel I've been able to do by creating my own art of my own meditation, in this grand synthesis, this super rewarding, concoction that I've made of a few different methods. Yeah, it just feels magnificent. Uh, there's a quote that I love, and it was told to me by somebody else, and from what I understand, they didn't quote this person correctly. I can't even say who the quote came from. So that's the wonderful thing about a quote that's lost its original author, is that I can't be wrong with it by acknowledging that it's not going to be said perfectly. But basically, this person told me that this pretty old artist in their 80s was asked, hey, why do you keep doing this so late into your life? Silly question in the first place, but they responded, because I think I'm starting to get it. I think I'm finally starting to get it. And I hope that I say that many, many, many more times throughout my life.